Hi guys, this is Connie, back for some more Connie Reads The Dogs of Winter, Chapter 30. It's a little bit longer, so this is going to be part 1, and hopefully not too many distractions. The hand of the city opened. Once again, shopkeepers stood outside their storefronts talking and smoking. Once again, the wooden stalls outside the train stations filled with people selling everything. Food, drink, newspapers, books, cheap wooden dolls nesting one inside the other, shiny metal replicas of St. Basil's Church, boxes of cigarettes. The people coming and going in the train stations and on the sidewalks slowed long enough to drop coins in this boy's outstretched hand. And when I said, "Spasibo," they sometimes smiled. Once again, workers in office buildings took their lunch to the plazas and the parks. They turned their faces to the sun and closed their eyes. This brought a new trick from Lucky. He stole. The first time I saw him do this was on a warm day. The trees in the small plaza were tipped with the youngest of green. The snow was all but gone, leaving behind many interesting things in the small piles of trash. I was searching with great interest through one of these piles when the corner of my eye caught sight of Lucky. He crept on his belly up behind a man with his paste-white face turned up to the glorious sun and his eyes closed in contentment. At his feet, a brown bag of lunch waited to be eaten. Slowly, Lucky crept toward the bag. I held my breath as he stretched his neck as far as it would go. He snagged the bag with great tenderness. Slowly, quietly backward, he crept with the bag while the man continued to worship the sun. When Lucky and the bag were clear of the man, he trotted over to us. Head and bag held high, tail wagging, he dropped the bag at my feet. "Lucky," I scolded. "We do not steal," I said, even as I unfolded the top of the bag. We moved out of sight of the man, still enjoying the sun, and I divided up the contents of the bag. I scratched Lucky's ear. "I'm not mad at you. Your mother didn't tell you it's wrong to steal." I gasped. At the bottom of the bag, glowing like the sun setting in the winter sky, was an orange. I held the orange under my nose and drank in the wonderful smell of its orangeness. "Oh, he must be a very rich man," I said to the dogs. They sniffed the orange and turned back to their bread. I smiled. The orange would be just for me. I had eaten an orange only once or twice in my life. This one I would make last for many days. I was no longer content to ride the trains, and neither were the dogs. Smoke disappeared for longer and longer periods of time, as he had before. Grandmother spent long hours on the sun-warmed sidewalks sleeping. Little Mother did her best to keep track of the puppies, whose long legs carried them farther than she liked. Lucky and Rip made new friends of all the dogs on the streets after the long winter. And like the dogs who lived on the streets with each passing day, more and more homeless children emerged from wherever they had been during that winter. They emerged pale and thin and hungry for whatever they had not had. As the days grew longer, packs of older children roamed the streets looking for those made weak by the long winter. I watched a pack of younger children steal the shoes and coat and hat from another child sleeping in a doorway. I watched a snarling pack of older boys torment a drunken man cowering in a bus shelter. It was not enough for them to steal what little money he had and to steal his bottle of vodka. They also taunted him. "You crazy pig," they cried. One boy knocked the drunkard in the head with a stick. "You stupid fool," another boy sneered. He kicked the drunken man in the seat of his pants as the man tried to stumble away from the pack of boys. The man fell to his knees. The boys descended on him like vultures. Grandmother and Rip pressed against my knees and whimpered. We turned and walked away from the cruel laughter of the boys. I rubbed my thumb over the edges of my tooth in my pocket. "I don't know why humans act the way they do," I said that night to the dogs. We were all curled up together in the warmth of the basement beneath an abandoned, crumbling church. Little Mother had found this place and brought us here. "Sometimes they are cold and heartless like the Snow Queen. Sometimes they are full of ugliness and hunger like Baba Yaga." Little Mother scrubbed my hand with her tongue, one paw pinning the hand to the ground. I pulled a small bug from my hair, no bigger than a grain of rice. I crushed it between my fingers. Too many are like the little match girl, lonely and starving. Lucky rolled onto his back, waiting for a scratch. Ah, Lucky my thief, I said with a smile. Why should I scratch your belly when you steal? He had a new trick to steal food. He picked one particular person from the crowd leaving the food stalls with their lunch packet. He followed them a short distance across the stone square. Then he would let out a loud woof. The lunch packet would fall to the ground from the startled person, and before the person even knew what had happened, Lucky snatched up the food and ran. Sometimes he shared with us, and sometimes he did not. Mostly he shared. I scratched his belly. That's the first half. Be careful with that and enjoy, please and thank you. Yes? Yes, distraction much? Somebody wants to stay here all morning. We'll see you for part 2 soon. Bye.